From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello, I'm Alison Mitchell in the commentary box at Lords, and welcome to Stumped. With me from Sydney for the ABC is Jim Maxwell, and Cherry Sharma is with us for Akashvani in Baroda. Now, are Virat Kohli and Royal Challengers Bengaluru building an IPL dynasty? They had to wait 18 years for their first title, and now RCB have gone back-to-back champions again after beating Gujarat Titans by 5 wickets in the 2026 final. And just to underline his prowess, Kohli sealed the win with a 6. Charu, is this the start of an RCB dynasty under the stewardship of head coach Andy Flower, no less?
Yeah, well, that 6 was very Dhoni-esque in the 2011 World Cup in India. And yeah, just the right opportunity for it. Well, you've got to congratulate them for winning back-to-back titles. But, and on Stumped, I remember a long time back, I wonder if you do, before the season started, I was talking about the fact that they have shaken the monkey off their back, so they'll be playing with a certain amount of freedom, which has certainly helped. They've had a remarkable IPL. They were top the league and then went on to win. About the dynasty, there have been many changes at RCB. The ownership has changed now, changed a little earlier as well. And I think some of their older players might not be there a few years from now. Kohli himself, maybe Hazelwood, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. So there's a possibility there could be plenty of changes in the next 2 or 3 years. And that alone may prevent this winning dynasty, although for the next year or so, they look very good indeed, Alison.
Well, I was going to say, Kohli said afterwards that he'd told his teammates that the pressure didn't feel the same as last year. So would that suggest that if they can keep, a number of these players together, that next year they could be capable of becoming the first team to win 3 IPL titles in a row? In
conventional wisdom, we'd probably have to admit that they are favourites again, because Andy Flower stays, Rajat Patidar, who's led from the front, stays, and this trio that I just mentioned stays. They could, barring injury, God forbid, and so on and so forth, be right on top or leading contenders again anyway. But, the other teams are going to begin figuring all of this out. I think it was RCB's bowling that did exceptionally well. And the batsmen will try and do something different next year. Other teams may also go through a bit of a churn and might get stronger. So the IPL is never easy. They've done remarkably well the last 2 years. But it could get a lot tougher next year. And maybe the weight of expectations as well. Because the second year after winning, the monkey was off the back. They were free, easy, happy. Next year, there'll be a lot more expectations again. And that might not work too well for them. We'll see.
But the guy who does seem to just keep shouldering expectation and rising to the big occasion is Virat Kohli. 37, no holding him back. Big game player. Big moments. He just keeps stepping up, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. It's just the weight of experience which is so important, really, because he's obviously very unflappable, despite his sort of aggression every once in a while.
Fiery nature at times.
but okay, a few things. He doesn't have too much to prove anymore, so there's that pressure has been taken away from him. Also, when it comes down to a 150, 180 kind of a game and they're chasing, then his ways work really well, because he's not the biggest striker of the ball, despite that 6 you mentioned last ball. And he's very happy to knock the ball around and take these really sharp singles or twos. All that really helps when your bowlers have done the job earlier on by getting the opposition to maybe 160, 175, with the new power being 200. So, yeah, the IPL went very well for him in terms of chases. And I think he's also still such a force in the team in terms of how should we approach the game and just G's up everybody a lot, that's for sure. His energy is certainly helps the team as well. Very infectious. So there are many other areas that he brings to the game apart from just his batting. There was some criticism earlier on, Alison, about his strike rate. I think he's paid some attention to that, because you can't argue with the strike rate in this year's IPL.
Yeah, and Jim, he had to wait a long time for that first title, and national honours are one thing, but RCB in this team really does seem to mean a lot to him.
Well, he's got the hunger still. He keeps himself in very good nick, so there's every reason to think at least next year, if not a little bit longer. I think for Kohli fans, and there must still be plenty of them, even though he's at the twilight of his career, I'll be loving every minute of this, and particularly the way he managed to produce the cameo, the innings that mattered to win a final. So, yeah, I think we're going to be seeing him around for a bit, and no doubt he'll have some ambition about making it 3 in a row. just as he will about playing any other cricket that is left in him. And the way he's going, it might be a few more years yet. I hope so. He's a great entertainer and a high quality competitor. So I think there's a lot of teams that'll be looking forward to the ongoing clash, the rivalry, because he's such an important person to get out whatever game he's playing in.
Yeah, and Cherry, if we look at the IPL as a whole and RC being sort of where they rank, I mean, 18 years now of IPL history. So where does this RCB side rank in terms of the best teams there's been so far?
Yeah, Alison, with your permission, just before that, Kohli has already declared himself unfit for the next series which he was picked for. So I hope that, he's, despite the fact that he's obviously paying a lot of attention to his fitness, I hope he stays fit enough for what seems to be his near-term goal, which is the ODI World Cup, which is perfectly suited for. Anyway, for Indians, we'll be hoping that he stays fit. About RCB, there was something quite almost invincible about the campaigns of Mumbai Indians, of CSK, and of KKR, even when they were winning all those trophies. I've got to admit that unless RCB win their third, and pretty quickly, if not on the trot, they don't seem to have the same level of respect yet, and as the other teams did. They've had two fabulous campaigns, without doubt. But in terms of the pantheon, I still think they're one title short. And once they get to three and quick enough, people will start talking about, wow, what a legacy. Right now, it's two, it's great, it's all related to Kohli, a little less to the team. But if others step up, and maybe Rajat Patidar, whom they'll certainly retain, seems to be the new Midas touch man, touches turns to gold. They do have the nucleus of a long-term successful campaign, but as a great team, maybe not yet.
So CSK went back-to-back, didn't they? Mumbai Indians. Jim, let's talk about one of the new stars, though, the breakout kid of the tournament. Well, I mean, he already made his debut last year, hadn't he? Vaibhav Suryavanshi won a car this year for his performances in the IPL. He's not, though, in India's squad for the Test and ODIs they've got against Afghanistan this month. There has been a certain amount of clamour about getting him into the national side. But is that sensible to just leave him be for the moment, given he's 15?
Probably. I sensed that from his Red Ball experience in Ranji Trophy, there's a bit of a learning curve there, whichever way you want to describe it. And I don't think there's any need to be rushing him into the next level of cricket. But the masses, the media, everyone will be making noises about that as we speak, no doubt, because they want to see him on the bigger stage. Is he mature enough for that at this point? It's hard to know. You can overread the white ball T20 game a bit because you get someone dominating in this way, but he doesn't take many singles, I've noticed. He hits a lot of fours
72 sixes in the IPL this year,
Gosh.
29 more than the next person on the list. It's staggering, isn't it? But there is talk, Jim, that he could make the squad or could be included in the squad when India come to England in July for T20s and ODIs. I mean, that would be intriguing, wouldn't it, to see how he goes on English pitches if he does get that call up.
I think there'll be a lot of people involved in the presentation of the game that would love to see a rising star such as him in that series, yes. So maybe that's the way to get him into it all and just quietly go about, unlike Tendulkar, who was playing Test cricket at about this age. So, yeah, just give it a bit of time and let's see how he settles into it, because it's a pretty strong emotional exercise apart from the adjustment from instantaneous instinctive cricket to something that's allegedly a bit more measured.
A word just on, Cherry, before we finish up, on the runners-up. Do you think that Shubman Gill's captaincy means that Gujarat Titans, will win, or rather will sort of continue to be title contenders going forwards?
Yeah, watch what you ask for, Alison. You're onto my favorite theory and hypotheses and everything else about captaincy. Well, listen, Rohit Sharma was considered one of the best captains ever in India, got India to the World Cup and so on and so forth, and this, that, and the other. And what a great captain. Where have Mumbai Indians finished? So yes, Shubman Gill is a decent enough captain. He's a lovely chap, very cool head, and so on and so forth. But you really have to perform. He's got all the runs, so he certainly has the respect. But the whole team has to perform. The bowlers didn't on that given day, and neither did the batsmen. So as captaincy material, because of his nature, because of his abilities as a cricketer, he'll always be considered a captain of various teams, India included later on. But I think we pay too much attention to this. The captain has a very limited role to play in T20s. It goes by so quickly. You take 3 breaths and the match is over. So he'll remain as a captain. I think GT is still a very good team. And it's a shame that they lost twice towards the end to RCB. Otherwise, we thought, having finished second in the league, that they would be the best competition for RCB. They turned out not to be. Not his fault, though, I think.
A final word on RCB. Did you see the winners' T-shirts they put on with the slogan, "One felt nice, we did it twice"? Well, I'm going to add to that. The fans now need, "One felt nice, we did it twice. Can RCB now do it thrice?"
Very good, Ali.
Now, finally on Stumped, a player who has gone from junior world champion javelin thrower to international cricketer after a life-changing road accident, and now possibly has Olympic dreams once again. Tasmeen Britt's journey is one of resilience, reinvention and elite sporting success. She's now one of the established names in the South African batting lineup, and heading into the T20 World Cup, she's hoping this year's tournament can finally bring some silverware. I started my conversation with her asking just how that experience with the accident has helped to shape her success in cricket.
Well, firstly, when you read that, I was actually thinking it would be nice if you could add world champ cricketer, like as in world champs as well. But yeah, so I think it's taught me a lot. I think it's taught me how to become a better person and character-wise. I think a lot of ups and downs, no matter what sports you have, that also teaches you how to handle those things, to get back onto the horse a bit quicker. I've gone through deeper moments that also made me realize that there's more to life than, just sports as well, although sports creates us. But yeah, it's just made me a bit stronger.
Yeah, and so when you talk about sort of falling off the horse and getting back up, how important is that going to be, given the experiences of 3 World Cup finals that you've played in with South Africa and haven't quite managed to get over the line, and you go back to the India match, that last one in the 50 over, and the last 2 T20 ones as well?
Yeah, I think we probably fell off one of the biggest horses in the last 3 World Cups. But yeah, I think we're ready for it. I think we're in good space. I think we have a brilliant team here. I mean, you saw the likes of Shibi also coming back. I think it's a key bowler that we also need. So yeah, everyone seems like we're feeling that this is definitely it. We're hoping to take it a step further.
And just referring back to the Olympics again, that is potential on the horizon now, isn't it? The cricket is in the Olympics. There'll be a qualification pathway. And if you could think back to when you were lying in hospital, if someone had said, actually, you could still feature in an Olympics, but as a cricketer, would you have believed them then?
I mean, I've got the rings on my arm, and I always joke and say that it's actually a Audi sign. So I'm hoping that we can go to the Olympics and I can actually, say that I've actually gone, because I had this tattoo put on when I heard there was going 2012 when we were going, but I never ended up going. So it's kind of like it doesn't really count. But yeah, so hopefully I can go to the Olympics.
Yeah, amazing. And what about the shift then from an individual sport, as you specialised in, all those years ago, to then, now being part of a team? Just how different is that? And was that quite an adjustment when you eventually came back and became an elite cricketer?
It was actually, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of, pros and cons and positives and negatives. But yeah, as an individual sport, I mean, it's only up to you. If you don't show up, if you don't train, you only have yourself to blame. With a team sport, the dynamic is a bit different. In the beginning, I found it very difficult because you set yourself to certain standards, especially when I started cricket, like provincially. Not everyone is as eager to represent their country. Maybe, they're more happy with just playing club. So, but once I got into the international side, I mean, that just raises the bar again. You've got elite athletes. You've got to, kind of pull your teammates along. But it also has the positives in the sense of, when you struggle, you've got someone else to rely on. Even if you're just the 2 batters, for argument's sake, you've got your teammates on the other side. And you don't tour alone, which is quite fun.
And so when you talk about elite standards, what is it like opening the batting alongside Laura Wolfhart and the partnership that you guys have?
Yeah, we've actually had quite a good run. I do think the setup has changed a bit. I might be taking position number 3. But yeah, we understand each other. I think she's also world class. I mean, clearly everyone can see that, and she's also a great leader. So yeah, we complement each other in different ways. You know, sometimes she's more aggressive or I'm more aggressive, but we run quite well between the wickets. So yeah, it's been quite good.
And so how do you see that role changing then if you've got the number 3 spot? How will that alter things for you?
I don't think it's too much because it's still, you know, you can either lose a quick wicket and then you can be in with the new ball as well. And if it is in the end of the back end, you know, it's nice to know that you still have 6-7 batsmen to come in so that we can go a bit hard. But it is something to get used to when it comes to prepping. I actually laughed when we played our first game. It just happened recently now with New Zealand. I went to number 3 for the first time and, you know, don't know, when do I pad up? Do I pad up now? You know, it became a whole, you know, different thing to try and figure out. And it's actually stressful sitting on the side, waiting your turn. So I actually, you know, learned to have more respect for the people that are coming in later. When you open, you don't have much thinking. It's 15 minutes change over, you're in the game and, you know, you've got to do a job. But no matter where I bat, you know, as long as I can contribute towards the team, then I'm all happy.
And what is it like having Dane van Niekerk back in the squad again?
Yeah, I mean, it's the golden oldies, as Kafi said the last time with her, Chloe and Shibby and Danae. So yeah, I mean, it's great. It's nice. She used to be one of the best leaders, so it's nice to have that experience. I think she also helps a lot. I mean, you already see that on the field when it comes to angles and stuff. You'll talk to the keeper. You know, she sees the game a bit different. And I also think she's played for many years, so she knows the likes of Beth Mooney or, you know, Sophie Devine or whoever comes in, so they can always contribute with information like that.
And do you have any other tattoos as well, cricket related, even aside from the Olympic rings?
Funny enough, when we went to the World Cup last year, I actually said I want to do like half of the cup. And then when we win, I'll do the other half. And if we don't win, I'll just make it like a flower pot or something. But yeah, I never got to that. But yeah, a few of us, we said if we win the World Cup this year, we're going to try and organize with our manager to bring in a tattoo artist. And maybe, you know, like our rugby men did. They all got the cup after the World Cup, somewhere in the locker room. So hopefully we can do that. Then I'll definitely put one on.
Well, that was Tasmeen Britt talking to me about her Olympic dream and the Women's T20 World Cup, which starts next week. Well, that's it for Stumped for this week. Give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. But until next time, it's thanks to Jim Maxwell and Charis Sharma, and goodbye from me. Take care.